You're listening to Community Forum on KCCC 930 AM, sponsored by Eddy County, honoring God, country, and family, thriving with industry since 1889. Thank you for listening to Community Forum. My name's Johnny Chandler. I'm the owner of KCCC 930 AM and the host of Community Forum. And with me today for a multitude of times is the director of the Carlsbad Library, Sarah Jones.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Thank you very much. Nice to see you, Sarah. And then for the second time ever is Kelly Jones, the Friends of the Library board member. You're the treasurer.
Yes. Hi.
All right. Well, welcome back. I'm glad you came back.
Thanks for having us.
We've got to figure out a way, Kelly, to have you on when we're not talking about book fairs.
Okay.
But we're going to talk about a book fair again today, which is a good thing. But you got to come on more often than just for a book fair, in my opinion.
Okay.
All right. We'll figure that out sometime. We'll come up with some topic that is very interesting to the entire community. Riveting on the edge of your car seat, listening to the radio is what we'll do. Let's start with Sarah. Let's just ask about how you're doing, how things are going at the library, recent events, whatever you want to do. Tell us what's up over there.
Things are going great at the library. We're off to a strong start this year. We just wrapped up Dr. Seuss's birthday, and we had one kindergartner show up dressed up as the Cat in the Hat, ready to celebrate Dr. Seuss and literacy. So that was exciting. And we got some new catalog kiosks in the department for patrons to search our catalog thanks to the Friends of the Library. They're sleek and cool, and they can also search our website. So we've got new technology you'll see at the library.
So the catalog kiosk, that's not like the old school ones, right, where you're like flipping through actual paper to find where the books are?
No, it's all digital.
Oh, okay.
Yes, all of our catalog is online. There was a lady that came in today that was very disappointed that it was online, but
I think there's something to be said about the nostalgia of those. And what were they called? Right? Do you guys remember, or is it been so long ago? Was it just a catalog, but it was actually just like a cupboard, right, or like a bookshelf almost?
It was the card catalog.
Catalog. That's it. Yeah. I don't know why I couldn't remember card catalog, but I couldn't. So thank you, Kelly, for bringing that in. All right.
We still have them. We just keep our seed library in there. So.
Oh, that's right. Right. So how's the seed library going? You guys gearing up for spring, I suppose?
Yes. We're expanding it. We're excited to get planting season started off right. So,
well, I've been watering feverishly the yard now, knowing that it feels like spring. It doesn't feel like we're going to get cold again, but it probably are. You know how we always get like that later freeze, Yes.
Yeah.
But we got our peach tree is blooming, our pear tree is blooming, which likely means we won't have any peaches or pear this year because we'll get that one freeze, shut them down. But I'd be okay if it didn't get cold again at all.
Me too.
yes.
Ever. Not even like next winter. Right. It's like I don't like the cold weather at all. All right, so I was at the library just the other day recently. I filled out a survey. You guys have a survey that's on the front counter, right?
Yes.
I filled out the survey. In my opinion, nothing but positive feedback, but it's always nothing but positive feedback from me. I'm not even sure that I could be critical, right? Because the library has great resources. It's such a good place to be and for anything you want to do. Plus, Sarah, you and I have become friends, Yeah. And so as a result, I can't trash my friends,
Yeah. Well, we like constructive feedback though, because we're working to become better. So if there's areas we can improve, we want to hear it. So.
All right. Well, I'm not going to tell anybody what it is on the radio, but you have to check a note. I do have one line of feedback in there for you. Okay. Right. It's all positive though. Excellence all the way around as usual. And I do really enjoy going there. I know that we have that new art project in front, Spiral,
yes.
Right? And then you've got where you have the art projects, there's a cone over one,
yes.
Right? And is that like something to be determined or something coming up? Or is there a surprise headed our way? Or are we just like repairing something? Or what's the situation there?
Yes, we Spiral was given to us by the state. And there's another, I think at least one other piece that we're getting from the state that they've given us. So they've lowered the pedestal to be the right size for the new piece of art. And I'm not sure when it's supposed to be installed, but they've got it ready just in case. So
I think the art at Hallelujah Arts Park is great. It's very, it's wonderful to hang out there. It all looks really cool. It's very unique. It's all kind of different. And then of course during the Christmas season, that park is just awesome.
Yes.
It's spectacular. They actually do a really, really good job. So we're going to move over to Kelly, Friends of the Library.
Yes.
The treasurer. So how are you doing today?
Good.
Good. How long have you been the treasurer for the Friends of the Library?
1 year.
1 year officially, right?
I was president before.
Secretary.
Secretary. I was president, then secretary, now treasurer.
So you just kind of rotate around a little bit?
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, so let me ask you a question. For those of us that don't know, do you guys just sit around at a table and pick and choose what it's going to be? Or how does, like, you know, for the next step, you know, every year you probably, seems like you change a job just about every year, basically, within the Friends of the Library board?
We have our elections once a year. The president and treasurer serve a 2-year term. So
Okay.
I'm actually like in the second year of my term, so it'll end in August. We nominate and hold elections with the general membership that's there.
Okay, so if you have to be a member of the Friends of the Library, and then you can vote, right?
Yes.
Okay. And how do you become a member of the Friends of the Library then?
There's a super simple form that they have at the library. It's $15 individual membership. I think $25 for a family. Paid yearly. In the form, you get your email address. So we email you about all our events and anything that's going on.
So I have a library card, which I brag tremendously about all the time. I do like it very much. I'm not a Friends of the Library board member, but I will be. Count on that.
Awesome.
Right. I'm not going to do the whole family, though. I'll probably just do myself. But not only because it's a good thing to help donate and to be involved, but also I want that power to vote. You know what I mean? I was like, I want that power, like all the power that comes with voting. You know what I mean? And like voting somebody out, maybe that's kind of like, oh, that's some good power there. Or voting somebody in, right? There's also good power in that. You know, we'll try to stay away from the negative. Everything online and everything's negative all the time, so it's easy to gravitate towards that. You know, get them out, yeah, right. But so I will be kind of that. So I can just go to the library to do that. Go online. What's the best way for me to do that?
Yes, the forms to join are at the library, so that's the easiest way to do that.
All right, we'll do. Next time I'm there, I will do that. I will also, again, always brag about the Wi-Fi boxes that you guys have available. I would say the best thing to do is to go ahead and call ahead and reserve one when you know you're going to pick it up. I mean, I think that they're in such high demand that if you just show up on a random day hoping to get one, and you need it, you may not be able to rely on that, which is not a negative thing. It just shows that how good and valuable of a program you guys have at the library for that. And that's what you want, right? So it's like if you own a restaurant, you're like, oh my gosh, it was so busy. We can't even handle it today. Well, then you got to take a step back and you got to remember that that's what we want, right?
Right, yeah.
We want a bunch of people coming into our restaurant, buying food and whatever else, right? So when you provide a service, you kind of want it to be maxed out, right? Because then that gives you the idea of how you can improve in the future, what you can do next year to make it more available. But it's also the idea of we provide a service. We want it to be utilized, you know?
Well, and that's what Sarah did because she started the hotspots with only, 4?
2.
2. And it was so popular that she's added more to that.
Yeah, we're up to 12, I think.
Wow. Yeah, I've utilized them. I think that it's a great service. Just like I read the Albuquerque Journal every day because of the library. Right, there's just I'll say it again, I'll say it every time you guys come on, and I will always waste a good 5 to 6 minutes of this program when you guys are on talking about the same things, just so you know. And anybody listening, you're going to get 5 or 6 minutes about this every time, all right? So just listen through that, and then we'll get into the meat of what we're here to talk about. But the idea is that there's so many free services just from being a library member. Get to know what's going on in your state. If you read the Albuquerque Journal, at least you'll get to know what's going on in Albuquerque and Santa Fe to some degree, maybe not the rest of the state, but at least those 2 major cities. What happens in Albuquerque and Santa Fe will eventually happen here. That's just the way that the state works, right? That's where the leadership is. That's where the state leadership is in Santa Fe, obviously. So whatever they're thinking about, even on a local level, that gets extrapolated to the state level. And then before you know it, what's happening up there will happen here. So pay attention up there to be prepared, and then you can even be more informed when it comes to voting. All right, so let's get down to the meat of it. We're going to mention this a couple times. As always, I'm going to let Kelly tell us about this one first because this is a Friends of the Library book fair, book sale. How are you saying that exactly?
I think we're going to market it this time as our spring book sale.
Okay, the spring book sale. So hopefully we'll have one in the fall as well, right? So the spring book sale this year, where is it, when is it, what day is it, all that good stuff.
It's going to be at the Living Desert on Saturday, March 25th and Sunday, March 26th. It'll be during the hours that they're open, so from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And of course, you can get in for free. They don't charge admission to the visitor center, and so we're going to be on the lower level of the visitor center over by the rotunda. So you can come to the book sale for free while you're there. If you want to walk the park, you can, but of course you have to pay regular admission for that. And yeah, we're going to have hundreds of books for you to look through.
So I think general admission is $5. Am I wrong?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so it's $5. And if you're going to go up there, go ahead and visit the park as well.
Yeah, it's a good walk.
Yeah, it absolutely. And then the Living Desert Zoo and Garden State Park advertises with us as a radio station, so we're also huge supporters. We're huge supporters if you don't advertise with anything in the community, but if you do advertise, we're going to give you a little check mark, a little gold star as well, because you're improving your business and you're helping mine as well. So that's always a really good thing. So March 25th, March 26th, is the hours just when the park is open the whole time? Do you have extended hours, or how does that work?
No, it's just when the park's open. So it'll be from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay.
And yeah, because I think the last time they let you go walking down is like 3:30 or something, but they don't close the visitor center until 5.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, you don't want, you know how it is. You got somebody out in the middle of the park and it's 5 p.m. and you had a long day or a long week and you're like, we're ready to go home. And,
right.
We've all had that feeling. Like, it's time to go, folks. I'm glad you're here, but we need to go, All right, one more time. March 25th, March 26th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Rotunda, Living Desert Zoo and Garden State Park, 1504 Skyline Drive.
Yes.
We're a local program, so you know where Living Desert Zoo and Garden State Park is if you're listening to this, all right? So, just go up the hill.
Yeah,
it's right there. Right, so not a big deal. It's a good reason to go visit the park anyways. The weather's getting nicer. I assume that weekend will be really great.
Hope so.
Right, well, it's been really windy lately too, like really torrential winds.
Yes.
Right, but so I'll just give you a side story here. I was talking to my mom the other day because as a good son, I call my mother once a week. Right, she's just in Albuquerque, but I call her at least once a week. We used to live in Germany when I was younger, like in middle school, right? Because my dad was in the Air Force, so we lived in Germany. And we lived there for 4 years. And the first year that we moved there, Germany's like cold and it rains a lot, right? And it's cold a lot. It's much farther north than we are. And we basically just stayed in the house for like a year, and the military housing on top of that. So it was like an apartment complex. There's no yard or anything, right? And it took us a little while to learn. And everybody told us that if you don't go anywhere when it rains in Germany, then you won't go anywhere. Right. And so I was talking to my mom the other day and I was mowing the lawn. I was out there and it was real windy. And I told my mom, and she's like, well, it was really windy. And I said, yeah, I know. But you remember when we lived in Germany? If you do, when it rains, if you don't go anywhere, when it rains, you're never going to go anywhere. Well, if you don't go anywhere here when it's a little bit windy, then you'll never go anywhere.
That is so true.
Right. So it's not a big deal. Just put up with it. It's what it is. Right. I mean, today was beautiful. We obviously record this a little bit earlier than it airs. So when I'm talking about today, I'm talking about a few days ago from when this aired, and the idea behind it was actually a really beautiful day.
Yeah, it has been a nice day.
But I do assume that it will be windy again soon, right?
I would assume that as well.
Probably the next day. So it's not really that big of a deal. Okay, so we have a library sale. You guys brand it differently every time, which is really smart. Last time Kelly was on, you guys had a Friends of the Library book sale at the Walter Gerald Civic Center.
Yes, we did.
Right. Mm-hmm. Was that in October?
It was, yes.
Yes.
No,
it was end of September, first weekend of October. So it was 2 months.
Okay, so I am technically right. Make sure you guys realize that I was right on that one to some degree. But so you had a 2-day book sale there.
Well, 4 days, 2 weekends.
Oh, 2 weekends. That's right. And I remember, and so if anybody wants to go into the archives and listen to me brag about how, it's 2 weekends. You guys haven't really done 2 weekends before. So I assume that you would have made a record. Did we have record sales, or who wants to break the news that if we did or did not have record sales?
Unfortunately, we did not. It seems like it just spread out our kind of normal business over 2 weekends.
Well, you still raised funds.
We did.
Yes.
You still helped the community have books in their homes or wherever organization that they were from, right? And so it was still a really good thing. I mean, a financial record is obviously great, but a big pat on the back and a round of applause, if you will, to both of you for having that event, 2 weekends, expanding what you're doing, changing it up every year, right? Now, maybe we don't do 2 weekends next year, but you don't know to not do 2 weekends if you don't do 2 weekends once.
Right, yeah, no, we tried it. The first weekend was great. We made $2,000, a little over $2,000 on the first weekend. Second weekend, the Saturday was good. Sunday, we made like $100. But our grand total was like $3,700.
Okay. Not a record, but that's pretty good.
That was good, yeah.
Right. So tell us a little bit, Kelly, about what you guys, what your board does with those funds. Like, what do you try? What's your goal? I mean, I'm not asking if you had a specific goal for that book fair or that book sale. If you did, great. I'd love to hear it. But more importantly, in general, when you donate money, when you give a little bit of money, when you donate money for books, when you donate money to the Friends of the Library in general, right? What's the mission? What's the goal? What are you guys doing with those funds?
Our mission is to augment, help out and make everything that the public library does better. We want to help their education programs, their literacy, because I know that's something that's really important to Sarah. It's important to us, and it should be, important to our area.
Right.
And so anything that we can help to do to make their job easier is what we try and do. The kiosks that Sarah was talking about, the funds, we used Friends Funds to pay for those. So there'll be eventually 4 in the library. So that's a easier way for people to find what they're looking for, and something that they might not have been able to get otherwise because city funds have to go for specific things.
Yeah, again, and there's an anti-donation clause at the city as well, right? The state of New Mexico has an anti-donation clause. Now, I do believe that as voters, we did vote on a constitutional amendment last election cycle in November of last year that is going to change the anti-donation clause to some degree. That hasn't gone into effect yet, but it has been passed, and you do have to have a constitutional amendment to pass that. I don't know the details of that. I just know that there is going to be some wiggle room when it comes to that into the future, but that doesn't deny the fact of how important it is to have a group that supports an organization such as the library anyways, right? And you need community organizers to make sure that you get what you have. And Sarah, take this the right way before I say it, okay? When you're in, I'll call it the library bubble, right? When you're in the bubble all the time, right, you get used to what you're doing, right? And it's easy to think, especially when you're the director and you do such a great job, I would say that it's really easy to think that every idea you have is the best idea that's ever been thought of, right?
They are.
Right, okay, right. Your case not included, right? But the idea is that you need outside perspectives of things, right? You need somebody else to come in and be like, I'm not here every day like Sarah is, right? And so you don't see the need. You know how the library operates. You know what to do. This, and I'm on it right away, right? An outsider comes in and they're like, well, that wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be, right? So then that perspective can only make things better for you, So last time, Sarah, I don't know how many books you told us you had last time, but you guys have a lot of books, right? You get a lot of book donations.
Oh, yeah. We've got 60,000 items in the library collection, but donations, we had somebody brought 16 boxes today alone.
Okay.
So we always have a ton of donations. So it's good to see the community be so generous when it comes to books.
And I'm sure everybody in the community gives a lot of thought as to what they're donating. They just don't throw a bunch of random old books and then give them to you, right? They want to make sure that the books they give to you are valuable.
Yes, I think every book that's given, the person sees its value in it.
That's very, very good answer. Thank you for that, by the way. So you guys were able to get rid of significant amount of books, right? So, $3,700 roughly from the last book sale, right? And then Kelly, if you want to remind everybody, when they come to this book sale, how it works, right? So I just donate money and then I can take one book. How does that work again?
You come and you get to browse the selection. So we try and have them organized a little bit kind of by nonfiction versus fiction and children's books. And sometimes cookbooks and self-help are sorted out, but due to the sheer volume, sometimes it's hard to have them specifically sorted. But you just browse, you look around, you see something you like, you can grab it, walk around with it. Some people bring their own boxes. Sometimes we supply boxes because people pick so many. And then once you decide that you've got everything you could possibly want, you just come up, we'll have a table set up, and you make your donation. It doesn't matter, like there's no set price per book or anything. We've got some people who are very generous, and some who give what they can, but they're still being generous because they showed up and gave us money.
Right, exactly. Right. So, Sarah, question for you, right? I mean, it hasn't been that long since the last book sale, to be honest, right? We're looking at late September, early October, November, December, January, February. Here we are, March. So you're only looking at 6 months, right? So once every 6 months, doing a book fair would be good. Do you have, hopefully, I would say, you have less books than you had during the last fair? Did you guys already stock all the way back up?
We're pretty close to where we were for the last book sale.
Right. And so are all these books are the books at the book sale question related to, are these all donations, right? Because the library and the Friends of the Library aren't purchasing additional books that are already in the collection, right?
No, we
Right.
don't.
Yeah, they're all donations.
So they're all donations, right? How many, can you give me a guesstimate as to how many boxes of books you have? And so when I'm talking about boxes, just so everybody can visualize, I'm thinking, and you guys know what I'm talking about as well, right? I'm not talking about a crate full of boxes, right? I'm talking about, let's think about printer paper boxes,
Yes.
right? You know, you got a printer paper box, you go and buy a box of printer paper, you've seen them everywhere, everybody knows. So that way they all have an idea of the size that I'm referencing, right? So can you guesstimate? And I want you to guesstimate, even if it's a little bit off, as to how many boxes of books do you think that you guys have?
Well, I know when facility maintenance took them to the Civic Center, they filled like a whole trailer, like that you would,
Like a U-Haul trailer? Like a
No.
covered trailer or a flatbed trailer?
like a flatbed trailer.
Like 12 or 16-foot trailer,
Like,
right?
yeah, probably 16 foot, at least a couple boxes high worth of the 16 feet length of the trailer.
That's a lot of books, I think.
Yeah.
It is. I just think that's an incredibly difficult thing to get rid of that many books no matter what the situation is. Right? I mean, like, you couldn't give that many books away even.
We
And-
try.
And you are giving them away, basically, right? We're asking for
basically.
a donation of whatever you can bring.
Yes.
Right.
Well, and the Friends, because they donate them all to the library, so we try to do a lot of good with them before we even give them to the Friends. So
Right.
we donate paperbacks to the detention center. We take YA level stuff to the Foundry home.
No,
We
I
give
got to pause. What's YA?
young adult.
Okay. I was like, you guys you're doing some vocabulary. I'm not a librarian, so you're doing some vocabulary I'm not aware of, so that's why I had to pause you. So UA means young adults.
Yeah,
Okay.
so teenage level fiction and nonfiction
Right.
to the Foundry home. We take children's stuff and some adult stuff to the Jonas house, Jonas Pantry. So we're donating books all over the community. So
Right. And so let me ask you what type of books you would donate to the YA group, right?
Yeah.
Like, would they be? Is it all nonfiction? Is it fiction? Is it self-help? Like, is there a goal when donating books to them?
no, we try to give them a variety of stuff because the goal is just to get them something they like. So.
Right. Okay. That makes good sense.
Give them something to read because. Tell us what the Foundry Home is.
The Foundry home, I think, works with CYFD, and they take in kids that can't stay in a home situation for a reason. So either something's wrong at home or they've run away from home. So they take them in, and we even give them like a welcome packet that has like a journal and a book for them to keep and like some colored pencils, like something for them to become theirs. And then they stay there for a certain amount of time to work out a housing situation for them, whether that's going back home or finding them like a foster situation. So
How important is that? Right. Let me just pause for a second and ask, and you guys, and maybe even just tell you or ask rhetorically how important that is, right? When you're somebody that grew up in a very stable 2-parent household, you know what I mean? It's just the idea of, you read for pleasure, you read because you want to, right? You read because mom and dad make you, whatever, right? But imagine because everybody knows that a good book's an escape,
Absolutely.
right? And so the idea is imagine the need to escape when you're in a rough situation like that,
Yeah.
You know, probably one of the more valuable donations that you guys give, right? And the detention center I could call just equally as valuable. I mean, I couldn't even imagine, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that escape, considering where they're at and the situation they are, and then hopefully that escape also gives them, if you're at the detention center or a young adult, it gives you the escape and then the courage and the knowledge necessary to just improve everything and to better your life. There's some value in that. I don't think you've ever, as many times as you've been on here, you never mentioned that you donated to those two organizations.
Yeah. We also donate to the health department. So when parents are waiting for their appointment, the kids have something to read. We give stuff to WIC. So yeah, we try to donate stuff all throughout the community. So.
Yeah. No, that's incredible. So Kelly, is it too late for somebody to volunteer to help you guys on March 25th and 26th at the Living Desert?
Absolutely not.
Okay, never too late to help volunteer, right?
Late to volunteer.
Okay, so if you wanted to volunteer, just drop in by the library.
Yes, you can leave your name, number, email, contact information. We have some online ways to sign up to volunteer. I think that link might be on our Facebook page, but we can definitely make sure that it appears there.
Sure, I think Sarah should put that on the Facebook page. What do you think?
Yes.
I'll put it on the Facebook page. Sarah doesn't have access to
No,
it.
she's giving me access to that.
So I was at the library and I saw an email address for the Friends of the Library, I thought.
Yes.
Okay, what is that?
It is Friends.
I'm going to take a guess, but I think I'm going to be wrong. So it was like Friends Carlsbad. That's it. That's all I remember. I don't even remember anything else. It's okay. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, Kelly, but I did see that email address when I was at the library, and I thought that was an important email address to definitely be aware of. And while you guys are looking that up, so we can get that email address right, I'm going to go ahead and just recap the information for the book fair or the book sale. So that's March 25th, March 26th at the Living Desert Zoo and Garden State Park. That's from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. both days. It costs no money to go to the book sale. The visitor center at Living Gardens is always open, right? Free of charge for a nominal minimal fee of $5. You can also go into the park. I think it's a perfect reason to kill two birds with one stone. Absolutely, just to use that idiom.
Absolutely, yeah. It's friendscarlsbadlibrary@gmail.com.
friendscarlsbadlibrary@gmail.com.
Yes.
I was kind of close, I think.
You were.
I probably could have guessed that library was the third word in that one, but
I could have too. I just didn't want to give you the wrong one.
no, it's better to be accurate. So friendscarlsbadlibrary@gmail.com. If you would like to help out on March 25th and 26th and you can't, for some reason, step your foot into the library, send Kelly an email.
Absolutely, yes.
All right. That's perfect. So lots and lots of opportunities to get some new books in your home or your organization or whatever you're involved in, and then lots of good things to do. We are almost out of time already. I think that I talk a lot, so the 30 minutes goes very quickly. Does that make any sense?
It does, yeah.
Okay. Oh, I do. Does it go very quickly, or do I talk a lot, Sarah? What was that?
It goes quickly because
Okay.
we've got lots of great things to talk about.
Yes.
That's no problem. So, Sarah, tell everybody how they can give us just go ahead in closing. Give us the library hours again. How you can be involved. And then give me a closing statement. We'll go to a closing statement for Kelly after that.
The library's hours are Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. If you want to get involved with the library or the Friends of the Library, you can stop by the circulation desk anytime we're open to get signed up and plugged in. And make sure to stop by the book sale because there's lots of great stuff, and there's a lot of local gems that you won't find anywhere else. So,
all right. Kelly, closing statement?
Just thank you for listening. And when you support the book sale, you are directly supporting the library and kids in Carlsbad. Like, there's summer reading programs coming up. We're really excited about that. We're going to help them throw a big block party to kick it off.
All right.
So all this money just helps make stuff for you guys way better.
Right. A great community resource. You guys know that I love the library tremendously. I think that what you offer is incredible. And I think that if somebody's not utilizing what the library has to offer, they're missing out. They're just not aware. So hopefully they were listening today, so they are aware of what they have. So one last time in closing, March 25th, March 26th, Living Desert Zoo and Garden State Park, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Visitor Center Rotunda, 1504 Skyline Drive. Just go ahead and show up. It doesn't cost you anything. Pay $5. Go check out the park as well while you're there. Grab some great books for you and your family for a small donation or a large donation if you'd like. It goes to great things. It goes to improving the library. And I want to thank you both for being on today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
You're listening to Community Forum on KCCC 930 AM, sponsored by Eddy County, honoring God, country, and family, thriving with industry since 1889.